Bear with me for a moment, if you will. I've been lent a new stand, but it's not a big freestanding stand like I'm used to. It's a little benchtop stand, and oh goodness, it takes up all of the workspace in front of me. So it's actually right in front of me, and I've got it pointing at an angle. It's better than nothing, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I can't sort of, maybe I can work around it like that. So I've actually got it at the moment between my arms so you can see what I'm doing. I've got so much to chat about today. I actually thought I'd be organised and have some structure today, but as you probably know, I've been going through my stash and destashing things that have been sitting around for years, things that I don't think I'm ever going to use. And you know what happens? Every time you do that, every time you get rid of things that you think you're never going to use, a few months down the track, oh, I had such and such. I'll go looking for that, turn the place upside down looking for it, can't find it, and then finally remember, oh, I got rid of it. I mean, it's been sitting around for 25 years, but all of a sudden I want to use it. So that's a thing. Anyway, how are you? How have you been? I am really quite tired, to be honest. I have been absolutely flat chat trying to sort things out. By the time I go through my stuff, work out what I want to move on, wash it, press it, photograph it, upload it with a description and whatnot, it's taking so much longer than I thought it would. But I've also, of an evening, I've been working on some things, and I'm trying to design some crochet patterns, some filet crochet. So I'm trying to design something for my daughter, and I was just crocheting it from a cross between a photograph I had and a finished product in my mind, but it just hasn't been working. I'm missing, it's just not coming together. So I finally realised last night I'm going to have to graph it. So I've started doing that. I'm doing it old school. I'm not using any programs. I'm not using any apps or anything. I'm charting it on grid paper by hand, counting each square and doing all that sort of stuff. And every blink and time I get this piece of wool nice and clean, every time I pick it up it's got hair in it again. So as you can see, I haven't started my pouch, my Kate and Ness pouch yet. I've been procrastinating something chronic. How can I explain it? I just can't come at cutting up my linen to put on it. But I have been playing around with some, I didn't have trim I wanted, so I've been trying to make some. This is the last one I did. I did a few last night. I've done different colours, but I thought if I have the pouch sort of like this, it's got my hair all over it too. Pouch like this, and then I've made this trim, this tassel, fringing. So This is hand dyed, hand spun wool that I've done myself, and then I've crocheted it into this fringing, which I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I've done a few in wool. What have I done with the other ones? I think I've left them inside now that I've done that. Oh, here we go. I've got quite a few piles out here today of things that I want to go through with you. I'm trying to force myself to have a rest day today, but I'm not resting. I've got so much to get done. I've got to get orders sorted and packaged. So I've done an orange one. This one's a longer one, obviously. An orange tassel. I think I want to do this pouch green and pink, so the orange won't work, but that's okay. And then I've done, that one was wool too. That was a commercially spun but hand dyed wool. This next one is a blend. It's a beautiful, beautiful, incredibly soft wool, and it has a little bit of Angelina in it, which gives it a sparkle. But I did a double row on this one, and it's not sure how I like it. So I just wanted more tassely bits, more fringing, but it ends up a bit bulky in here. It's got my hair all through it. So I did that one as well. I quite like the look of that actually. So there's that one. And then I started another green one, but I didn't have enough wool, so I only got this bit done, but I like this colour better with the Angelina in it. So that's wool, that one's wool. And then I've done, oh, nearly forgot this one. Oh, I forgot that one too. So, I've done this pretty colour. This is a beautiful hand-dyed Australian wool. This was a Forest Hill hand-dyed yarn. I don't think Laney's dyeing anymore, but that's a very pretty one. I love those colours. A lot of these I've only got small amounts left. And then I've done, this was the first one I did. This next one is pure silk. So I have hand dyed this silk and then I spun it, and I have, this one sits a bit differently. This was the first one I did before I worked out how to get it to sit nicely. But this is all, it's got a beautiful weight in it, this silk. It's a bit chunkier. It's got one of my hairs in it again. So it's got a lovely shine, the silk, look at that. So what I was thinking is, if anyone would like some made to size for their pouches or something, I reckon I could probably do that for you. I'm not sure yet whether to charge for materials or just charge for postage. But what I haven't tried yet is, that I was thinking of trying, is cotton. I haven't tried one in cotton. So I thought we might have a quick look and see how that goes. I think that's not going to be big enough. Don't know what size hook to use. I'm just, because I'm quite firm, I usually have to go up a size, but sometimes I don't like it tight either. Everyone I'm pulling out's a 3.5 mil. I'm looking for something a bit smaller. It doesn't look like I've got anything smaller here. What's this one? There's a 3, that's a little bit smaller. Let's see how that one goes. So let's see. And then once I finally work out how to do this fringing, I might do a tutorial even maybe. So let's see if we can do one in cotton. Obviously this isn't a great colour for this pouch, but I just want to see how it'll go. And again, this is going to be a bit difficult because I can't see, the camera's right in front of my face. I'm just going to do a short bit to see how we go. See how it looks. Okay. And again, I won't tell you yet how I'm doing it. I'll if this works out, if anyone's interested, I'll do a tutorial. I can't believe how long it's taken me to get this little pouch started. Like I said, I just can't come at cutting up my linen to stitch on it. I watch Kate and she just seems to so confidently just harvest what she wants to, and I just really struggle to do that. Of course, I've got some cutter pieces that have been given to me already cut, so they're much easier to use. But whole pieces, even if they've got holes in them, because I can patch them up, and I often do. So I'm finding it very difficult to do that. I think we just dropped out then, guys. Sorry, I've had terrible trouble with reception the last 24 hours. I don't know what's happening. I don't normally have trouble like this. So I made this a bit longer than I wanted because I didn't want to be sitting here doing this, boring you silly, but I did want to get an idea of how it would look in cotton. Now, I still haven't worked out how to do this end piece neatly because I'm doing this a bit backwards because if I do it, get your words to happen, goodness me. If I go back the direction I was going, it doesn't sit, the braid doesn't sit well. So I've had to shake it up a bit. Now I'm just looking for a guide to use. And this isn't my original design. I saw someone else doing this, but I've changed the pattern a bit. I'm getting all tangled up because I'm very limited on room here. Okay, where are we? What's going on here? I've got a bit of a knot happening. Hmm. Oh, goodness me, this is a lot. I'm sorry, it's really difficult. I'm trying to work around the camera stand and I can't see. The camera's in the road and okay. Now I've got a big black and white butterfly flitting around my head at the moment. I keep seeing it in my peripheral, and when I think I'm imagining it and I turn around to see it and it's disappeared. Okay, where's the next? So, as I've mentioned before, I've been uploading a lot of stuff to my D-stash page. There's all sorts of stuff going up there. So if you're looking for anything, I've got fabric remnants, I've got larger pieces of fabrics, I've got bits of laces, I've got larger pieces of laces. Sorry, I'm counting. I've got buttons. Most of the things I've uploaded are vintage. I've got some linen, not a lot. I've got men's jeans that have never been worn. I've got a few pairs of those. I've got some finished artworks, embroideries, stitcheries, some textile vessels, all sorts of things. Tonight I'm only going to have I think one item in the drop, and it will be some of the encouragement cards that AJ and I made. Had them professionally printed, and I found a few boxes, so I'm going to upload those. They are beautiful. They're beautiful quality. They're in a matching box and they're sealed. I did the artwork for them, and AJ did the verses, the statements on them. So if you're after anything, even if you just have a look or share it, that'd be helpful. And that is on Instagram, and it's at Gladys and Maude Unearthed. On Instagram, there is a link in my YouTube bio, if that helps. I think it's just called D-stash in the link. Oops. Pulled that one a bit too short. There we go. Now, I'm nearly there, guys. Bear with me. I really just want to see how the cotton will look. Keep missing that tail. I spotted this as I was walking out the door to set this up. That's why I haven't done it beforehand. Spotted this cotton. I tell you what, it's not as easy to get, there's that butterfly. It's not as easy to get this crochet cotton around here these days. I used to use it a lot. I used to do the tea towels with the crochet top, hand towels, and yeah, I used to be able to get it from the cheap shop, but it's much more difficult to get now. I think they, oh, actually, last time I looked at Spotlight they didn't have any, but it might have been out of season. Since it's cotton, it might be a summer line. Oh, poppycock. I let go of that without watching what I was doing. Nearly there, only another 2 or 3 to go, guys. This reminds me of those chenille bedspreads, because they had cotton fringing on them, didn't they? I don't know if I make this for others. I was just going to do like 1 metre lengths or something, but then I thought if it's too long and you cut it, it will come unravelled, so I'm probably better off to make it, like do custom sizes, ask people what they want, I suppose. Oh, you silly goose. I've done that incorrectly. That's better. Look, we'll just get one more in here by the looks. Stuck. Probably because I was holding on to it. No, it's stuck. Come on. Okay, last one. Okay, where's a pair of scissors? This isn't the neatest, sorry guys, but I just wanted to show you and see what it looks like in the cotton. Neaten it up. quite like it. Okay, how's that? That doesn't look too bad, does it? So if we were to, for example, put it on, of course, imagine it was wider. Huh, that's not bad, is it? The cotton in the cotton. So there we go. I think if anyone wants me to make them some of that, give me a yell and I'm not going to buy specific colours or materials at this point. I'm just going to use what I've got. So give me a yell and ask. Let me know if there's some I can do for you and we'll go from there, hey? So, the other thing, while I've been digging through my things, I've already shown you, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. And thank you to, I think it was Kathleen and Mand for commenting on my last video. Thank you so very much for your input. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to respond yet. I will. I just haven't yet. I'm sorry. But your comments have been incredibly helpful. Thank you. Your suggestions. Very, very helpful. Thank you. Sorry, I'm sitting right up on my toes again. Okay, so while I've been going through my stuff, I've come across some more needle books that I've started. And I'm sure I've got a few more that are a bit further along too. I don't know where they are. So these are some fabrics I've dyed. And I was going to put layers of dyed textiles and painted and laces and things on these. So that's a neon green that I've painted myself. And then I've got a neon pink that I've painted. I did these quite some time ago, last year or the year before, and they're waiting for me to put them all together. So there's another one. Then I've got, this is hand-dyed fabric, and this is where I was going with these. So all of this textile on here has been hand-dyed or painted. So I've painted the black and white and dyed all the bits and the laces, and now I've got to, the reason they're taking so long is because I'll come through and put layers of stitches over them. Here's another one. I'm sure I've got one of these that's much further along and it's not in this pile. So I'll probably add more. This one's got a few stitches in it, but I'm not overly happy with it yet. I'll just layer it up. So yeah, these are supposed to be, the end goal is to make these into needle books. There's another one. So I've gone two completely opposite ways, hand-dyed neons and whatnot, and then I've done eco-dyed. This is another piece of hand-dyed. Obviously needs a lot of work done yet. Another piece of hand-dyed. Another hand-dyed one. And then I've got, that's just piece of wood in. This one is indigo dyed. So I'd like to put layers on it yet. Another indigo dyed piece. There's something on that. Then I've got, oh, this one's hand painted. So these hand painted ones, I haven't decided yet whether to, obviously I've already cut them. So I was planning on doing them this size, but I wonder if I need to do them as one larger book. So that's an option for those as well. I've got two, obviously that was the one piece that I'd painted there. It still needs a lot of stitching done. It hasn't got any on it yet, obviously. Then I've eco-dyed these. This is one of my better ones. So it's got gum leaves on it. But if I do these like this, we can't really see the effect of the leaves. So I was wondering whether I need to, look at this one, if I need to make these larger books too, so we don't lose those leaves. So that those two, and then I've got another eco-dyed one, and then another one. And you can see, I can't really make out the shapes now. There's nails and things. What's on this one? No, I can't make them out. And then I'm sure there's more of these around that I've started to get ready. This is another one. This was going to be a 3-fold needle book. The lines are on it, that's where I'm going to stitch. But this one's got a, I don't want to lose that, a shifter. So that's pretty cool. If I hem it, or I might be able to put a binding on it and save some of that. So that one, she's gone a bit wonky there. And then I've got this one. This is pretty. It's got, can you see the leaves on it? Another eco-dyed one. And I've started to play around with vintage fabrics layered on this one. Actually, I don't know if I will put anything on this, because look, I don't want to lose those leaves. It's nice, that one. That might be off, oh, that's probably off here. So here's an indigo dyed one that I've played around with fabrics. I'd say piece of linen. I'd say that was probably on here. So that's a piece of vintage fabric from the 20s. I just had these scrappy bits. They're all these bits in here are from the 20s, and they're all, well, not all of them, most of them. They're all scrappy bits that have been through a machine. They were used to stuff a lounge with. So there's another one, and then another indigo dyed. Oh, not indigo, eco dyed, you goose, with leaves on it. So I had those, I came across those that have been waiting to be done. And this is the basket of eco-dyed textiles that I've done. And there might be more needle books in there. This piece of linen, look at that I've dyed. Linen takes the eco dye so well. This is over dyed. I've done what do you call it? Indigo, and then I've eco dyed, like done the rust dye and eucalyptus dye over the top. So that's one of them. I haven't done any for a while because it's bloody messy, to be honest. Let me see if there's... I'm sure I had other needle books ready that I've started stitching. Indigo. Oh, here's another one. I thought I had more. So here's one I've started working on. So this was indigo dyed, but I did a paint resist to get the spots. And then I've started stitching those vintage textiles over. So there's another one to finish. I was sure I had more though. Got avocado dyed. Yep, here's another one. So this one's avocado dyed. And a piece of vintage lace that's all disintegrating. That's a little bit of linen up there, the white. This is a piece of that fabric from the 20s out of the lounge. And I painted that onto a bit of fabric, then I've stitched it on. So there's another one that I've started. When I say I painted that cross on, I actually made a stencil out of cardboard and I've stenciled it onto the fabric and then I cut those out. Oh yes, I thought there were more. Here we go. Here's a piece of vintage silk that I eco dyed as well. The silk takes it really well. Look at that. It's some beautiful colours in there. I don't know if they're showing up. So yeah, got those to use. I just need to get myself together and make them happen. So, oh, I thought that was another one. Don't know what's going on there. Look at this piece of... This is a piece of vintage silk that I've dyed, eco dyed. Just move this out of the way. Look at the leaves on that. So there's another piece to use. I usually only eco dye small amounts at a time because I don't know. Another needle book I've started. Eco dyed, bit of old denim, some of those old vintage textiles layered in there. So I don't know how, oh yes I do, I was going to go, I believe, like that, somehow with that needle book. Something like that probably. There's another one, and then here's another one I've started. Eco dyed again. Some of those vintage textiles. Maybe this way. Gee, there's some humidity. I can hear the chopper blades hitting the Possibly like that, or even just like, I don't know. So there's another one. And then here's another one. So I actually forgot I had these. So bits of fabric. So yeah, I've got my basket here full of eco-dyed fabrics. Here's another look at this. Is a piece of vintage cotton. It takes really well too. Look at that. It's actually a part of an old pillowcase, very old pillowcase. This fabric's very delicate and fragile, but I love using it in these sorts of, look at that. These older textiles take the dyes, the eco dye, really well. Piece of linen. Look at the colours in there. So yeah, got all sorts of fabrics in here. Beautiful piece of vintage actal sheeting that's taken the colour really well. So I'll just tuck those away. Back in the basket for now. I just thought I'd share that with you. And I also came across a couple of I was doing slow stitch meditations of a morning after watching Liz Kettle, and this is two of the ones that I've done, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They've just been floating around for a couple of years now. Right, but it's not getting me anywhere with this pouch. So as I mentioned earlier, this little Kate in the Nest inspired pouch, I want to do it. I think I want to do green and pink. But I'm also having trouble cutting up my textiles. I did dig out some fabric to do some zokins with too. I might do a separate post for those, I think. Oh, here's a bit of I'm just going through seeing what I've got here. As I said, I'm finding it very difficult to commit to cutting anything. Here's some more of those needlebooks. You would have seen these ones before. I've got people waiting for those. I don't think there's anything in there I can add to this. What's that one? Oh, got that too. Don't know if I want to cut that though. I was thinking of using that as a pocket. These are bits that are already cut. I've been saving that for a bigger project actually. think this print's too big to put on this tiny little pouch. I'll keep that out there for now though. Now I'm just looking. What else do I have? Trying to use up bits. I don't know if I will though. I've got little bits of scrappy bits I've cut off other things. What's up here? I pulled this tablecloth out, but I don't know if I want to cut into it. This one. And I've got this. I'm not sure I'm ready to cut this up either. This bit. But this bit's got holes in it, so I thought I could use that. Because I won't be putting that in any kits. Oops. A bit top heavy, sorry guys. Some little bits. Don't know about this. This is that I dyed neon. Possibly one of these flowers. Got this one out. I don't feel as bad if I cut up these machine stitched ones as I do with the hand stitched. Right, then I've got, oh you bugger bum, I just dropped a bit of cotton in the ash from the mosquito coil. I think this is going to be too big, it's the wrong colour anyway. I've got these I've just cut out to make yo-yos with, but I thought maybe I can use some of these flowers on it. A bit of green, it's the wrong green. Right, got those bits. Then I've got that's not vintage though. Got this beautiful little piece. I've only got this tiny little bit, probably 1950s or 60s. Don't know if I want to cut into that because I've only got that little bit. I'm a bit precious with some of these, aren't I? And I've got this little bit, which is vintage, but it's not the right colours that I want to use. And I've got this piece of Sanderson. I don't know if I can cut this up to use some of it. That could potentially be an option. But apart from that, these two tiny little bits, I'm really struggling to come up with bits to use. Hang on, I think I do have something else here. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just sorting through some textiles and laces and things in a bucket in front of me. This came in a kit from Beck of So Be. That might even be... Okay, what else is tucked in here? Aha! Applique flower. A piece of embroidery. Piece of... bit of a cross-stitched edgy bit, or a corner bit. Just got bits. Bit more of that one. What's down here? Oh, a bit of this one. Don't think it's the right colour though. Okay, let's see if we can do anything with this, shall we? Again, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I was thinking something like this maybe. And I do know I want to put, where did I put it? I think I want to put this on here. So I don't know whether to go ahead and stitch that on now. It'll get in the way. But if I stitch that on first, that's probably a good idea actually, because then I can work the fabric over the top of it. It's a little bit longer than what I need though. Okay, going to cut this off. And what am I going to stitch that on with? Might just use this cotton for now. So what I think I might do is tack it on first. Oops. So if you don't know what I'm doing, this is, I wanted to participate in Kate in the Nest's pouch of the month, and I thought because I'm a bit pushed for time, I thought I would do a small one, and this is my start of my small one. As I said, I don't know what got no idea what I'm doing, and I'm really struggling to cut into my vintage textiles. Kate's given some prompts. The first one is January Joy, so joy, and she's chosen Joy to the World, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. But you can have any kind of joy. And there's 3 elements. Trims or tassels, I think. Oh, I knew I should have written it down. Something thrifted and something gifted, I think, from memory. I might be wrong. But go over to Kate's YouTube, Kate in the Nest, and she has it all explained, and I think she's got it on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's definitely on YouTube. I will add a link to this, to Kate's. So I didn't have a trim that I liked, so I've made my own. I've made this tassel, this fringing, out of some hand-dyed. Oh, hello. Hi, Angel, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I'm just prattling on here about talking about my little Kate in the Nest pouch that I'm doing. I'm only doing a very small one for a couple of reasons. One, because I'm a bit time poor at the moment. And 2, because I thought if I do a small one, I won't overwhelm myself with trying to get it done, which I've already done. I procrastinate dreadfully. And 3, because I won't need as many materials to get this done as I would if I did another one. Thank you for subscribing and liking. I'm incredibly grateful. So yes, in theory I won't need as many materials to do a smaller one than I would if I was to do a larger one. One of the other guidelines that Kate has offered, and I mean they're not, she does explain they're not hard and fast, have to be strictly followed, but another one was whether you were going to, I can't remember how she words it, fly or, so whether you're going to keep your pouch or gift it, and I haven't decided yet. So this is just a tacking stitch. It's not neat, it's just to hold this fringing in place. I'm quite happy with that. I'm happy with the colour. Now all I've got to do is try and sort of get my textiles to blend in with that. I think I need some more cotton, guys. I think what I might do, I'm just thinking about it now, is based on my textiles and then come back later and stitch details onto them. I haven't shown you either. I might need to do a different post for this. This is the toggle I was making in the last video, the needle woven toggle button closure thingy. So I have finished that, but I'll have to show you how it can be attached. I might make one for this, hey, in pink or something. Okay, what can I put on here now? I don't know. Might put a bit of this on. Again, no idea what I'm doing. I might finger press that. Put a bit of a from memory, Kate likes the raw edges. I usually do too, as you'll note from the needle books that I've started that I shared earlier. But this one I might do a bit differently. Okay, I'm going to tack this on again, baste it on. It's very hot and humid here today. It was about, when I looked about 10 o'clock this morning, it was about 33 degrees. I didn't check the humidity, but it's up there. It's quite high. So it's not the most comfortable of weather at the moment. Not complaining, just trying to explain what it's like here. At the moment, we're supposed to have the last 10 days of rain, and I think we had one day, maybe two. But then they've forecast the next 7 days of rain as well. But I've got a feeling we'll miss it again. 7 degrees Fahrenheit, goodness me. Sometimes I like 7 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in Celsius? That'd be minus, wouldn't it? I can't remember. 7 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't get that cold here. When it gets to about 18 degrees Celsius here and I'm cold. The other day, last Wednesday, I had an appointment with my doctor and it was 18 degrees and I left the house with long sleeves on, with a jumper and a couple of layers because I was cold. The other good thing about tacking these textiles on, basting them like this, if I change my mind, it's easier to lift them or move them or remove them. And if I want to do something like, if I decide to stick something in like this, for example, it's easier to lift that up and just tuck that in. Which isn't too bad actually, I might even do that. Now do I want a whole piece or do I just want a whole piece across there? Would look good, wouldn't it? Wonder if I've got something. Don't think I've got anything with me. Now that I've decided to do that, I'll have to undo it again, won't I? Because I don't have anything out here with me. I've got some more inside, I think. I've got a crocheted piece inside. I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else here. Or I suppose I could even center that piece. No, I think it needs to go the whole width. So I'll come back to that with something else. And I think the idea is to have pieces of fabric layered up on top of each other. I mean, I know this is a piece, but smaller pieces. Moving my glasses on and off, on and off, on and off. The problem with this humid weather at the moment is it makes you so tired. You goose, I've done. It makes you so tired. It zaps your energy. You feel sick all the time. You don't want to eat. You can't sleep. You don't get as much done as you want to get done, like the lawns and the gardens, and the housework gets a bit behind because it's just so hot and uncomfortable. And I'm sitting outside on my veranda and there's a bit of a cool breeze at the moment, so that's nice. As I said earlier, I've got this camera stand that I've borrowed on the table. It's a table one, I know the one I was using before was it would stand on the table next to me like it was a stand-up ring light, and it completely died the other day. So I've borrowed one, and this borrowed one sits on the table and it's right in front of me, and I've got my arms around it, so I'm actually looking through the camera stand to see what I'm doing. So I apologize if I'm a bit messy and a bit disorganized because I'm having a bit of trouble seeing what I'm doing. Oh, and look at that, that's for the speaker, but if I plug the speaker in, I can't plug the power cord in, and if I don't keep the power cord plugged in, the phone goes flat in about 10 minutes. So we don't have the speaker plugged in, obviously. I'm leaning on my toes, which isn't great because they're cramping. But this isn't the best setup I've got here. I've got a workbench out on the front veranda, and I've got a little gardening stool I'm sitting on, which does the job, but after an hour or so, oh, I'm glad the audio's good, thank you. Oh, good. I'm glad the video's good because through my lens, hi Kathleen, how are you? Through my lens here, it's very blurry and out of focus, so I always get worried. When I go back and look at the videos later, they're usually okay, but it looks very blurry through my lens, and some of my photos the last few days have been very blurry as well. I need to make a bit of room here because this is folding up, creasing on me. And as I said, I'm just at the moment just trying to looking for my needle. Can you see where it went? It's up here. I got this bracelet for Christmas as a gift, and it's magnetic, and often when I can't find my needle lately, it's on my bracelet. This is, I'm wanting to join in, and I'm trying not to spend too much time on this, Kathleen, because I've got so many other things I'm trying to get done. I decided to try and join in with Kate in the nest with her pouches. So I don't know if you've seen it, you probably have. She's doing a pouch a month with a bit of a theme or something, and this month, January Joy it is. I'm just doing a small one because I'm pressed for time and because I'm finding it very difficult to cut into the textiles. I don't want to cut up the embroidered linen. So I'm trying to use pieces that I've already got cut up. I'll just put this bit in and show you, Kathleen. So I've only got a small piece that I'm working on simply because time, and I don't want to cut up my textiles, and I thought if I did something too big I'd overwhelm myself and not do anything. So Kate uses wool blanketing usually as her base. I've not done that before in this sort of context, so I thought I'd give that a go. And she's given some guidelines. So there's January Joy, and she's going with joy to the world, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. But it can be any, thank you, Angel. It can be any joy. And I mean, these aren't strict guidelines either, as Kate explains in her video. And then she's got 3 other things, and I don't remember what they are. I should have written them down. But one of them's trim or tassel, I think. Trim. I think one's thrifted and one's gifted, I think. I've probably got that wrong. I will add it in the description later, and I'll add a link to Kate's video so you can see it. But I didn't have a trim. I've decided I wanted to try and do this pink and green, and I didn't have a trim that I liked, so I've made one last night. This is hand-dyed wool, and then I spun it on my spinning wheel. It's got a little bit of Angelina carded through it, so there's a bit of glitz there. And then I've crocheted this fringing, so I've used that as my trim. And then I'm really struggling to cut up any of my embroidered bits to add to it. I've dug a couple of bits out that are already cut that have been gifted to me, or this bit's obviously got holes in it, but I thought I might be able to utilise that. I've got this bit from this is actually from that purse that you bought, Kathleen, that you're going to turn into a shoulder bag thingy. This is a bit left over from that. And then I've got this machine embroidered piece. That's all I've got of that. And then I've got a bit of these. I don't know how I'm going to use all these cross-stitched edges from a project from years ago. Just bits, because I don't want to cut up. Got a little bit of that fabric that I'm sending you. Don't think it's the right colour though. And I don't think that's the right colour, that one, vintage fabric. And I've got this lovely vintage piece, but I don't want to cut into it because that's all I've got. So I've got that. I've got this bit of old linen that's a bit damaged. I don't know if I can use some of that. And then just these scrappy bits. Then I've got this one that I got the other day that I'm not sure if I'm ready to cut up yet. So I've got those bits, this little bit of vintage, just got these little bits, which again is not bad because this little bit, because it needs to be all layered up anyway. This is from a kit, from one of those kits from Beck of So Be. So I might be able to stitch that on somewhere. Takes up a lot of room though, doesn't it? Got these, instead of cutting up more of that, I thought these are the bits I was doing the yo-yos with if I need them. Then I've got bits of old lace. These are a bit damaged, but little bits, just little bits of, these are from that purse that you bought too. This has got scorch marks on the back of it. Just little bits of bits. So yeah, I'm not sure how to put it all together yet. I thought maybe one of these might go on it, don't know yet. I've got this, but I think it might be a bit loud that I dyed. Just bits of it maybe could go on. I've got this that was given to me the other day, but I don't know whether to keep that to make a pocket for one of the needle books. More bits of lacy bits. This could work on there. I was looking for something to put on there earlier. I think I'll find it easier to cut up these machine embroidered bits. So I've got one of those there. This bit, that again is from that purse, Kathleen. Got this bit of Sanderson, but the print's very large for this little pouch. Got this, but I'm starting, oh, that might work actually. It's got green and pink, so I might be able to use a bit of that. That's blue and yellow, so that won't work. Another machine embroidered bit. I'll move that bit away because it's the wrong colour. Got one of these napkins that might be able to go on there. And then again, a bit more. The second one. Oh goodness, I don't know where now. Do you mean this bit? Is that the second one? Or are you talking about a doily? Oh, the second one. That would be awesome, Kathleen. I'll keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping to pop out tomorrow and get some mail sent. People have been waiting so patiently for me, and I haven't been able to get to the post office. Angel, can you? The embroidery, okay. So, this one? With the holes in it? Or was it the pansies? The crochet, or the applique, or this funny little bit. Must be one of those bits, is it? That one. Or the bit with the holes in it. This piece, this was a whole piece, and the other piece went into a kit because it didn't have any holes in it. But this was interesting when I soaked it. The applique, yeah, okay, so that's off a fingertip towel, that one. I never used to keep these, collect them when they came across my path. I didn't like them, but I've completely fallen in love with them lately. So I've been keeping an eye out for those. I don't have one. Did I bring one out? No, I mustn't have brought it out. I don't have a complete one here to show you. Yeah, so that's off that's a piece off a fingertip towel, and some of the rest of that went into a purse that Kathleen's bought, actually, that she's waiting, because I still can't send stuff to Canada with the mail. I haven't checked this morning, but yesterday they still weren't accepting. There's another one of the appliques. This one's a napkin, but the fingertip towels are sort of similar to this sort of thing. You can get tablecloths as well. I don't think I've come across a tablecloth yet. But I do have my daughter now. My daughter and her fiance are looking out for vintage linens for me. And she went and bought some yesterday or the day before, and she was so excited about what she got. So I'm excited that they're now looking out for stuff for me. And you wouldn't believe this, where they live, in a completely different part of Australia, she went into the first 2 op shops asking for the sandwich tray cloths. And some of you would be familiar with what they are. Kathleen, you know what they are because we've spoken about them before. The sandwich tray doilies. And I didn't know until recently. I assumed they were an English thing, the sandwich tray doilies, because most of our stuff comes from there, especially around that period. We've influenced heavily by the English, especially in our embroidery, I suppose. I always assumed the sandwich tray cloths were English origin. But someone said to me, it might have even been you, Kathleen, that you can't get them in Canada. And then I had someone tell me recently that they can't get them in England, and that piqued my curiosity. I thought, why can you not get them in England? So I started doing some research, and it appears that they're an Australian thing. So anyway, back to my story about my daughter and her fiance on the hunt for me. And I must admit, her fiance was upset because he was at work when she went, and he wanted to go with her because he enjoys op shopping as much as my daughter and I do. So that's very cool. But the first couple of shops that she went into, she couldn't find anything, and asked the ladies if they had any sandwich tray doilies. And one place said, I've got no idea what you're talking about. So she brought up some photographs to show them, and they said, oh yeah, we don't keep them. And my daughter said, what do you mean? And she said, we can't sell them, so they go to landfill. And my daughter was mortified, and so was I. So she said, look, if I leave my contact details, if you get some more in, can you let me know, and I will buy them from you. And the lady said, look, you'll probably end up being gifted them, or, you know, get a big box full for bugger all. So we're so excited to wait and see what might eventuate. She did find a couple of things while she was there. This one place only sells vintage linens in bags. So because they get so much that they can't get rid of, they make up bags full for $4. So there's some things in there that I probably won't use, but that's okay. We can share them around. But they won't be coming, I won't be receiving them for quite a while, because it will be awesome. I'm so excited about it. What they're going to do is collect a box full and mail the box full to me. So it's going to take some time. She hasn't been working for months because she's been unwell, so she doesn't have the money to buy at the moment, but when she goes back to work, she's going to go and buy some more from me. She won't let me send her money. And yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a waiting game, but that's okay. I can wait if it's going to be all this goodness. I'm incredibly excited about it. I said to her, I don't care if they're stained, because most stains I can get out, and I don't care if they're damaged, because I can either repair them or use them as cutters, harvest from them. So anything, almost anything she can find, I've given her instructions on what to look for, sent videos as well. So we're both quite excited at the prospect of what might eventuate. So this is possibly getting a bit boring because I'm basting all this. So Kathleen, you might have missed earlier, I did show the fringing. I did some in cotton earlier to see what it looked like, and I'm quite happy with it too. So I've decided I might let people know if they want me to make some to size to fit their whatever they're doing. I might do that for them. I'm not going to buy anything, so I'm just going to use what I've got. I could make up lengths and sell the lengths, but the problem with that is, as you know, because it's crocheted, it will come unraveled, so I'd prefer to try and make them to people's requirements. Now the other thing, Kathleen, you would have seen the covered toggle that I was doing the other day. I've finished that, so I'll have to do another video to show how to actually use it. I don't know if I will actually use it on this or not, or make another colour. But there, that one was finished. Now I'm just going to end this bit off. Try not to put knots in if I can help it. This piece of fabric I'm using, Kathleen probably already knows the story of this one. I bought this at a market just before Christmas, and the fellow had them in a box along with some fabric I'm sending Kathleen for her Gosling quilt. Fellow had them in a basket with some fabrics and towels and quilts and things, and he was asking $25 a piece, and I looked at them and I thought, oh, I'm not going to pay that. That's, you know, this is old fabric. They are actually, my fingers are sore. If you can see, I've got puncture holes in them where the back of the needle was pushing through my fingers. So yeah, they're sore and I have torn them up a bit, but that's okay. They're not as sore today as they have been. So yes, this fellow was selling these fabrics, and he obviously saw that I was interested in them, and I wasn't prepared to pay $25 a piece. So he said to me, you know what, take a handful for $10. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He said, except for that one. And one of them was vintage sheeting in squares, like 12-inch squares, and on the back, and then the same size on the front in different coloured vintage wool blanket, and it was glorious. And I would have bought it, but it was not within my budget, so that was okay. But I chose, I think, three or four pieces of fabric, and three of them, there was three like this, and this sheeting I got. So this sheet, but this fabric, and the other ones, this one, and there was another one in browns and oranges. They were actually off those, remember those, I think they were in the 50s and 60s, easy fold mattresses, and they sort of had a metal frame and they'd fold up and sort of tuck behind your door on wheels, and they had springs in them. They weren't very wide. Even as a 7-year-old kid, I remember thinking, this is so bloody small. And they just had a thin little covered mattress on them. Well, these are off those mattresses. So that was cool. Now, I don't know what the heck to put on here. I hate cutting. This is going to go about there. I'm going to lose that, so that might be better on the back somewhere. I want to layer it all up, so I don't want to, I'm a bit hesitant to cut too close to these shapes. I'm sorry if I miss some of your comments, guys. I can't see the screen constantly. Oh goodness, my dog's at the door and she just did a big snory snort. My brain. I'm sorry I'm going off to the side. I'm just trying to see what I'm doing around this camera. Now usually if I'm cutting out textiles like this, I like to put something behind it, like a iron-on violin or something to hold it together, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to be winging it a bit. These frayed bits frustrate me a bit. Thank you, Angel. I'm cutting around them. One reason I'm decided to cut around them is because I do want some of the blanket to be seen, I think, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make that happen yet. Because knowing me, I'll probably end up covering it all. This fabric I'm using is an old linen napkin from either the 60s or 70s. I'm kicking myself now that I didn't keep some of them. I don't want to lose the leaves. So what I might do is baste that down, and exactly, Christy, I was saying that earlier. I've been doing the D-stash. I think you've seen that. I think you've ordered some stuff. And I was saying earlier, I've been getting rid of stuff that's been sitting there for ages, for years. And then in a few weeks, I'll probably turn around and go, now I know I've got some of that. And then eventually remember that I've moved it on. That often happens. So I want to get some more something in under there though. I'm just layering, guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I want to stick I want to see a bit of this fabric, but not all of it. But what I might do, where's some more of that? Some of these pieces I'm trying to explain. I can't get the words out. So this piece, for example, I'll base that on, and then I'll do like a really tight overhand stitch, sort of satin stitch around here, so then I can trim it in closer. But I want to layer something underneath it, and I can't see anything I can use. I thought I had another bit of this one. There's a larger bit there. Thought I had a bit already cut. It'll show up later after I've already put something else in. So I want a bit of that, but I don't want to cut that yet. I want to keep that for something else. I've got a whole piece there. So I don't want to use that, a little bit of that in there and waste it. What about, maybe I can put one of those in there. I'm starting to think this piece might be a bit too big. Maybe I should. I watch other people do this and I hold my breath. I think, oh no, they're cutting it off. I might cut that bit out. Now I'm not going, probably wondering why I'm cutting as wide as I am. So hopefully when I stitch this down, in my mind I want to stitch around quite tight, so then I can come back and trim much closer. I still want something under there. Again, no idea what I'm doing here. I just don't know, guys. This is challenging me. I've brought out this piece of Sanderson. It's a decent piece, and I'm sure I've got a smaller piece somewhere, so I won't cut that bit up, because I can cut up another smaller piece that I've got somewhere. What about that? I think these are just too big, these ones, these flowers, I think. I've hardly got any embroidery on there. I don't have any embroidery on there. Oh, goodness me. I wonder if I can squish a bit of that in there somewhere. Like that. It's not vintage though. Huh. This is vintage though. I'm just looking, there's a pile that's been sitting here for a few days that I was just going to do a scrap pack with, but I'm just having a look to see if there's any vintage, any more vintage in here. It's the wrong colours. There's a bit more in here than I remember being in here. Oh, this might come in handy. It's not vintage, but that might be helpful. Is there anything else I can find in this pile? Got a bit of green. It's a decent green too. A bit too bright actually. And then this is another one. Looks the same colour, but it's slightly different. No, much too bright. Here's some flowers. They're not vintage though. Oh, anything else in there? No. This is from the 80s, this stuff, I believe. It's actually in the same colours too. Green and pink, look at that. That's a drill, that's too heavy. Right, that is, I believe, about it. Here's a bit more flower. Right. I need to try and get some embroidery on here. I don't... Where did I put that? There's that. I think this will go on it somewhere. I probably should mark. I think that could wrap around there. probably should mark on here where it's going to fold, I suppose, so I can see instead of constantly folding it. It's a very small little pouch, isn't it? Okay, let's go about there. 4 centimetres from there. Let's go about 4. Okay, that's approximately the top flappy bit. About there. Probably move that down a little bit. I'll have a bit of a gap up there. Okay. So, approximately there. Now, let's try and get that evenish. Mm. 8.5, a bit more than 8.5. I did check this wool before I started, and it was square. I had trimmed all the edges with my quilting rule and rotary cutter, but it looks like it's distorted a bit already. So that should give me a bit of an idea where I can place. That does not look square, does it? $11 centimetres. 11 centimetres it is. It's just deceiving. Okay. Right. That tassel's bugging me, that fringing, because it's not quite on that edge there, and I should have moved it over a little bit. Okay, now I don't think this bit will stay there, to be honest. This bit can go maybe up in there. Want something in there. I think that's going to be too heavy. I want to be able to see a bit of that fabric, but not. I watch people do these and they just cheerfully put it together, and it doesn't seem to be any effort whatsoever. Doesn't appear to be anyway. But gee, I don't find it that easy. Don't like the colour of that. I'm hesitant to tack this down because I don't know if I want to layer things underneath it. Then what can I put there? I think I need to find more embroidery to put on this. So much for keeping some of the wool exposed. I'm not having much luck with that, am I? Don't think that will work there. Okay, I think I like those bits there for now. And I might end it off there, guys, because what I want to do is start stitching this down. Got to remember that's got to go the opposite direction. It'll be that way. Sorry, that's off screen. I'm just playing with a bit of fabric again. Let me just say, you know how I said earlier that I want to go small so I don't get overwhelmed and there's not as much work? What I'm starting to realise is it might be too small because see the size of these pieces, they're filling it in very quickly. And I'd like more layers. So going small might not be the best idea, to be honest. I will probably be adding some, I've got Suffolk puffs and little hexagons I've done, and so I will be layering more stuff in, but yeah, it's proving to be a bit more challenging than I suspected, which is interesting. And I'm starting to think it's because it's too small. There's not enough space for me to lay some things out. So I want to be heavy on flowers because flowers bring me joy. I love flowers, and the funny thing is the older I get, the more I can appreciate a nice flower. I love even just looking at images of flowers. Of course it's much better if they're in the garden. And it's funny because I remember when I was in high school, probably even primary school, I remember telling my father one day that he shouldn't be growing roses in his garden because only old people grow roses, and I love roses now. Isn't that dreadful of me to say that? So I might sign off there, guys. I'm getting myself a bit overwhelmed with this, and my brain's going a bit all over the place. But I just spotted something else. No. As I mentioned earlier, if anyone would like me to make some of this fringing for you, I'm sure I could come up with some. I've got pure wool, hand spun wool, and a little bit of cotton, not much. So you'll have to at least pay for postage and maybe a small amount for the materials, because a lot of this is my own hand dyed pure wool Australian stuff. I think we'll be better off to do it to order. So let me know what length you need, because I'm just worried if I do lengths for you to cut up, because it's crocheted, it'll just come unraveled unless you sew over it extensively to stop that happening. That's another wool. And this is another wool. This one was the double layer that I like it, but it's chunky. Oh, thank you very much, Angel. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. So yeah, that's a pretty cool chunky one. But yeah, let me know if you think you might like me to make some of this fringing for you. I'm sure I can work something out. This is one I did with a bit of cotton earlier. And I'm sure you could potentially stitch it on that way, but I like to tuck it under, so you'd like some. Well, when I'm trying to think how you can let me know what you want and how much you want. When I upload the video, can you comment, Angel? Or I haven't put my email address up because the messages get lost. I don't get notified, and they often go to spam and I don't see them. But you can go either wait until the video uploads and comment, because what you comment during the live, it disappears. I can't read it once it's uploaded. Either wait until the video is uploaded and comment, or in my YouTube bio you should be able to find one of my Instagram accounts. The D-Stash one at least will get you onto one of my accounts. There should be some way there that you can contact me. I'm just thinking, sorry, if there's an easier way. So contact me through Instagram. Not Facebook. I hardly ever go to Facebook, so I won't see it if you go there. But either Instagram or YouTube, they're probably the two main ones. So if you can let me know what you'd like, what colour, how much, and we'll have a chat, if that's okay. So thank you once again very, very, very much for being here and for liking and subscribing, and I'm incredibly grateful to have you guys along for the journey. I don't know what else to say. Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe. Be kind. And yeah, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. I think you guys already have. Please share if you know someone that might be interested, because the more subscribers I get, the more content I can upload. So that would be fabulous. As I've already explained, you regulars are probably sick of listening. Because my phone's broken, I can't pre-record and upload. The phone won't let me do that. It overheats, so I have to do lives. But until I have 500 subscribers, I'm limited to how many I can do. So the more subscribers I get, the better, the more content I can upload and the more information I can share. So again, thank you so much. I'm working on more content. I'm trying to get myself a bit more organised this year so I can plan ahead and let you know what's going to be happening. So thank you once again, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for joining me.